Hi, everyone. Welcome to the EPICS and IEEE virtual event, Professional Engagement Opportunities with EPICS and IEEE. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we're going to talk to you about some different opportunities to engage with our program. Without further ado, I'll turn it over to our current EPICS and IEEE Committee Chair, Stephanie Gillespie, who will be leading you through our event today. Thank you. If you have any questions, as Stephanie mentioned, please put them through the chat. We'll have some time at the end to answer a few questions, so make sure you put them in there, and hopefully we'll get to them at the end of the event today. Thank you, and Stephanie.
Excellent. Thank you, Ashley. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone who's joined us for today's webinar. I am the current committee chair for the EPICS and IEEE committee, which falls underneath educational activities. We're hosting this webinar this morning to highlight different opportunities that professional members have to engage with the EPICS and IEEE program. We often talk about the impact that EPICS and IEEE has on communities with the humanitarian work, but also that we have on students. So today's focus on professionals is an opportunity for you to understand how, as a professional member, you might engage with EPICS and IEEE, or if you're a group of students, what you might do to have a stronger relationship with the professional section near you. With that, we're very excited to have multiple guest speakers joining us today who will each talk about the engagements that they've had with EPICS and IEEE. And we're going to start with one of our more recent opportunities that we started, which is talking about being an EPICS and IEEE project reviewer. Today, I'm going to have Michelle who join us, who is a two-time EPICS and IEEE reviewer and an IEEE member. So Michelle, if you can introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you heard about EPICS and IEEE and the opportunity to review our project proposals.
Thank you, Stephanie. I'm an independent consultant in strategic technology management and innovation, and I've worked in academia and industry for more than 20 years, helping a wide diversity of organizations to create and capture value from science and engineering. I've spent time as a researcher in the University of Cambridge, developing tools to help organizations with technology-intensive industry emergence, and I've headed up new product development and innovation at a Fortune 500 company. I do a lot of strategic technology road mapping, exploring how organizations can employ technology to best effect. And in recent years, I've been combining this with scenario analysis to cope with a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world. So I've always been interested in employment of technology, and I've been a member of IEEE for 22 years, and a member of IEEE societies such as TEMS, the Technology and Engineering Management Society, where I had the opportunity to present on doctoral research on digital affordances for technology strategizing. Last year, I returned to freelance consulting, and I was looking for opportunities to get more involved with IEEE. So I signed up for the opportunity to volunteer as an EPICS reviewer, participating in training last October. And the whole ethos, I think, of engineering projects in community service very much appealed to my values and sort of underpinned my reach out to find out more.
Excellent. It's really exciting to hear that you've been able to integrate this as a part of your profession. So what did it look like for you to be a reviewer and actually go through the reviewer process? Was there anything that was surprising to you, or what's the most challenging part of being a reviewer for you?
Other than not being able to fund everything. So I've acted as a reviewer for various journals, so reviewing papers, and also for national funding competitions here in the UK where I'm based. I really enjoy reading about new technologies, new ideas, and helping people to realize their ambitions using technology. I found that acting as a reviewer, I can provide some constructive advice, which may help those people putting together the proposals, even if they're not selected for funding. EPICS is a bit different, as there's a requirement for student involvement and service learning, which was kind of in contrast to those commercial proposals that I've reviewed previously. There was a real breadth of ideas that in the proposals I looked at, and also, if I'm honest, quality of proposals. And so the objective of applications is obviously to gain funding, but I would hope that the comments and feedback that I provided might have helped those who may not have been successful with their initial proposals, maybe giving advice for resubmission. I found some of it challenging in terms of judging between a very clearly student-led project, which may not be as professionally written, compared with maybe a professorial-led project, where the applicant clearly has significantly more experience in proposal writing. But there was a rubric that's provided that really assisted with the evaluation, ensuring consistency across the different applications. And also I was able to reach out and request clarification the first time that I was doing the review. For me personally, I set up my own Excel based on this rubric, and there I kind of capture my comments and scores. And once I've reviewed my allocation of projects, I can kind of sanity check for my own consistency across multiple projects before submission.
It's really exciting that you've taken on your own independent approach to the review process. So we do provide the rubric. Anyone who's interested in being a reviewer will have our call for reviewers with information at the end of this webinar, but you've really internalized it. So if you had to give one piece of advice to other reviewers about the review process, but also to project teams about the process, what would each of those pieces of advice be?
So I think for project teams, the guidance is there for a reason. Try and follow it, both in terms of how much space is available, which gives you maybe an indication of the detail required, and also in considering the objectives of the program, and so the specific questions being asked. Try not to duplicate information in your answers, but use the application form efficiently and effectively. And in that sense, circling back to what I said earlier, use the review process to learn as well as potentially gain funding. And for that reason, my advice to reviewers is reviewers need to provide constructive criticism so that applicants can gain something even if they're not successful. The whole process of going through the application can develop key skills and understanding within project team members, and constructive feedback provided. A lot can be learned from the application process, even in advance of any project. And it's such a key skill. Pitching your ideas or building a business case to something take forward is something very valuable beyond IEEE EPICS.
Excellent, thank you. We do have another individual on this call who has served as a reviewer before, specifically in the role of one of our partner organizations. So David will be joining us a little bit later to talk about the partner organization, but I wanted to allow him a chance to chime in if he had any thoughts about the review process that he wanted to share.
Yeah, thanks, Stephanie. I do think the rubric is a nice tool. I've actually reviewed Tech for Good projects, which is also another humanitarian IEEE initiative, and the rubric is a really nice tool, especially for a first-time reviewer, because it's a nice roadmap of how to functionally score a specific proposal.
Excellent, thank you. So if you are interested in our review process, we will share some additional information at the end of this webinar so that you too can be a reviewer for one of our future calls for proposals. Beyond being a project reviewer, we also have mentors who help our funded projects carry through with the process. So we do have one of our mentors who joined us today. So Ruby, if you would like to introduce yourself and tell us how you heard about the mentoring program within EPICS and IEEE. Oh, Ruby, we do have your video, but not your audio right now.
Very sorry about that. I'm glad to introduce myself. So I'm Ruby. I'm a senior IEEE member. I work as a generative AI principal architect for a software company here in the US. So I came to know about the EPICS and IEEE through the IEEE member bulletin that is given to all the members, available to all the members. And I found that it gave me a lot of opportunities to work with the projects that has a lot of impact on the society. And so I reached out to Ashley, and she helped me out with the projects list, and I was able to select the projects that I were interested in and had the expertise to mentor the students. and she helped me out to be assigned as the mentor. So that's how I got the opportunity to mentor.
Excellent. Now, I know that as a mentor, you've been assigned to 2 different projects within EPICS and IEEE, both of which have been successful. What was your role as a mentor and how did you contribute to the project teams?
Yeah, sure. So I got to mentor 2 projects. So one was developing an AI assistive device for the blind. So it was based on the computer vision. So I got the opportunity to work with Professor Megha, who is also along with us here. So in this project, it was that you have to apply the computer vision, and the students were actually very interested and were knowledgeable. As a mentor, I was involved in helping them whenever they had some roadblocks or they required any kind of technical hand-holding or some kind of a guidance, right? So we ran across various challenges when we were going through this project. And time to time, based on the requirement, I was able to help them and give them suggestions on the various alternatives that they could go for based on the hardware, as well as for the selection of the algorithms, etc. And it was great to work with Professor Megha and the students here in this project. And the second one, if you see, it was developing a soft a glove for the students who had the challenges with their rehabilitation. So in that project, I also got to work with the students, and in that it was like the graphical user interface that they had to design and also use the IoT based data. So in that also we have faced certain challenges in order to like how to clean the data and also to which algorithms that could be applied, and also like how to integrate various components. So from my from my real-time industrial experience, I was able to give them some guidance, but the students were excellent. They had the knowledge, they had the interest to take it forward in spite of all the challenges that we faced.
It's really exciting that you've been able to contribute technical expertise to both of these projects. So on the screen here, you can see some images from that second project. This is our soft robotic glove for rehabilitation taking place in Peru. And Ruby, you've been working with teams in a global capacity. So I assume your mentorship has been remote for most of these. It's in general, if you're curious, we do try to assign mentors that are geographically close for teams that are looking for potentially an in-person mentor or mentors that want an in-person mentoring experience. But often we also use remote mentoring. So thank you for your contributions to both of these projects. What recommendations do you have for IEEE members who would like to mentor other teams? What should they know about the process before they sign up to be a mentor?
Well, it is just that, basically the process is that you have to fill in the form, as I told you, like if you're interested, and Ashley would get connected with you. And she provided me with a list of projects that I could choose. And basically, I chose the ones which I felt were would have a good impact on the society and what also aligned with my interests. And once you have that, it would be like you'll get connected to the project lead, and you will have the meeting scheduled. You could come with a schedule like meeting once in a month or twice in a month. And then you would be connecting with the students and then helping them with the projects actually. So based on the phases of the project, how we work in the industry, right? So if the students have some of the challenges, they would come to you, and you will be able to explore those challenges with them and then guide them and help them. So I would say that if you think that the project is of interest to you, and you feel that you have the ability to have to technically guide them, then it would be perfect. It's like more of like exploring together with the students, and we build it. So I think that's a guideline.
Excellent. And I've got one last question for you. I know often as a professional member, the opportunities to get involved can advance your own career. So are there any advantages to you for serving as a mentor for these teams?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So these projects, I was able to provide them when I was applying for the IEEE senior member application. So that was helpful. And I also add them to my resume to show that I have volunteering experiences as well as the mentoring experiences. And also one more thing is that in our real-time job, we may not get an opportunity to work in a technology that we may be interested in, but we may not get the opportunity to work in that. Whereas in IEEE, EPICS and IEEE projects, if you find some projects that were of interest to you, say for example, in my real time, I work mostly in the NLP, whereas in EPICS and IEEE, I got to work with computer vision, and the other thing was in IoT, which I don't work in my real time projects actually. So it helps you to build your profile in a versatile manner and to showcase that you have, actual experiences in various different technologies as well. So it was very helpful to build my profile and to add it in my resume.
Excellent. It's really great to see how you can take being a professional member and being engaged with EPICS and IEEE to advance not only your IEEE career, but also your professional career. We do have one of our committee members on the call, Mega, and Mega has had the opportunity to also mentor projects. So I wanted to give Mega a chance to speak about her experience mentoring projects as well. Mega?
Hello everyone, myself Dr. Megha Arkeri. I'm working as professor in Manipal Institute of Technology, Bangalore, India. And I have 20 years of academic and research experience. I'm a senior member of IEEE and also committee member of EPICS in IEEE. So my mentorship with the students was amazing. Like I got the opportunity to interact with a lot of students in different parts of the world, and also received a training to enhance my mentorship skills. And during the mentorship process, I was able to understand like what students face the hurdles or the barriers when during the deployment phase of the project, whether it is a societal barrier or the political barrier or organizational barriers. So what was the difficulty in the deployment? And in addition to that, I also got insight on the community problems that exist in different parts of the world, rather than just focusing in my area or in my country about the community problems. So that was the different benefits I got through being a mentor for the teams.
Excellent, thank you. And we'll have Mega speak a little bit more about her role as a faculty member coming up later in this webinar. One of the other opportunities that we have is partnerships, and partnerships are extremely important for EPICS and IEEE because they help provide support and funding and mentorship and connections for our specific projects. With that, we've been very excited to partner with several IEEE societies and affinity groups to support the EPICS and IEEE program. And I'm going to invite Dave to speak about his background and how he first heard about partnering with EPICS and IEEE.
Thanks, Stephanie. So I hail from industry. I'm a IEEE senior member. I've been involved as a member for nearly 30 years. So in the latter part of my professional career, and actually retired a few years ago, I was responsible for a specific process industry, and I worked for a manufacturer that is a global manufacturer of electrical equipment. So getting connected with my home society, the Industry Application Society, was a nice fit and an opportunity for me to mentor and discuss and introduce new technology into the specific industry I was responsible for. So I got involved as a volunteer leader in the IEEE. I was actually, for the society, I was the president of the society in 2015 and 16. And then I also ran for the position of Division II director. So I was on the board of directors of the IEEE between 2018 and 2020. So I also am a member representing TAB on the Humanitarian Technologies Board. And this is where I first learned about IEEE EPICS, and Stephanie and I actually both serve on the on the HTB for the IEEE. HTB actually supports this program and a number of other humanitarian initiatives. And so it was the first time I'd heard about a society partnership, and I learned about the EPICS and IEEE program, and very excited about it. One of the things I learned as the president of the society is that we would meet 4 times a year with our executive board, and there's a lot of student branch chapters in the IAS, over 300 of them globally, many of them in regions 9 and 10, and on very frequent occasion, it seemed like we would have an appeal or a request from one of our student branch chapters for financial support for a specific project to maybe install LED lighting at their school, and so we would always approve these kind of one-off initiatives. And I thought, boy, if there's an opportunity that we can actually connect with the EPICS program and make this kind of an ongoing program for the society, it would be great to support the student branch chapters.
It's really exciting to see that you use those personal connections and the relationship that we built through HTB to form the partnership between EPICS and IEEE and IAS. We actually, through May, just selected our first round of IAS projects with our May call for proposals. And I wanted to maybe get some feedback from your side as a partner of how did IAS participate in this call? And sort of what was your engagement as an individual member as well as one of our IAS connections?
Yeah, so we actually had, there was a board meeting of the Society Executive Board, and Stephanie actually came and presented, and the board was all in. They said, hey, we want to be a top level a partner and financially support initiatives that are EPICS focused. So we actually, the board approved financial support from the society to EPICS, and we put out a call for proposals, a call for projects. I think we had overwhelming response, 72 or some number like that, and we just recently finished the final decision process, and I think we came up with 11 or 12 projects that we're going to move forward with. So and we got these call for proposals were posted on the EPICS and IEEE website, and also we got some help from Ashley Marin, who's the lead staff for this initiative, to put together some advertisements that we were able to include in the e-newsletter for the society, and also in print ads in the Industry Applications magazine. So this was, we get a very high readership of our magazine, and this helped promote a lot of promotion from our students.
Excellent. And you can see some of the articles here that were written by both IAS and with content from EPICS and IEEE to advertise the IAS, EPICS, and IEEE partnership to IAS members. How does partnering with EPICS and IEEE benefit a society such as IAS? Why was this something that the board members voted to support a partnership on financially?
Well, I think there's two different pieces of the puzzle there to answer that question. I guess first off, on this slide, we actually did get, again, support from the EPICS staff, from Ashley, to put an article first in the Industry Application magazine. I serve as the editor-in-chief of that periodical today, and then so there was first a promotion that talked about, hey, here's a student-led project that was successful, just to kind of share the EPICS story. I like to call EPICS the best kept secret in the IEEE. So we actually were able to promote this among all of the IAS members to begin with, and then also our local chapters and membership chair, Shrikant Paley, actually put an article in the magazine talking about this sponsorship. So the two benefits, one I mentioned already, was the opportunity for student branch chapters to engage and get involved and actually get financial support for projects in their local communities. And the other one that I think is we don't want to miss is the fact that we have in our society, and a lot of the societies, I think across the IEEE, there's quite a few senior members, life senior members, a lot of people that have a lot of experience, including myself, for instance, that could serve as both reviewers and sponsors. So it's a way to engage with some of our more senior members that want to get involved in students. And what a perfect way to set up a mentoring opportunity where we can connect the society younger members with the with some of the more senior members across the organization.
You've definitely pointed out lots of opportunities for the society to benefit. I know you individually have been a very strong partner. So is there one specific reason why you became an individual advocate for EPICS and IEEE within your society?
Well, I guess I will count myself as one of the more senior members in our society. And so, I think at this point, in where I'm at after I finish my career, one of the things I want to do, and I think a lot of senior members and life members want to do, is give back. And what a great opportunity with students that are engaging with trying to help their local communities with humanitarian-based projects. What a great opportunity for a member like me to continue to be involved. And I have not mentored on a project yet, but I certainly intend to. I've reviewed a few of the IS projects, and as we move forward and some of these projects come to fruition, then we'll get some support from EPICS to publish some articles, and again continue to connect in our society periodicals with the student branches and make sure that they see that our society is at the forefront of trying to support humanitarian initiatives that are student-led.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing your experience as both an individual advocate as well as a partner organization advocate within IEEE. EPICS and IEEE really does appreciate all of our partner organizations. And on our next slide, you might see some partner organizations that you're familiar with. So if you are a member of one of these organizations, thank you, because your organization has been supporting EPICS and IEEE. If you are not in one of these societies and you know that you're in a group that might be looking to partner with us, please don't hesitate to reach out to Ashley or I so that we can connect and continue to advance our opportunities for students, communities, and professionals. Of course, part of what's important about what we do is raising awareness. If our student branches and HCAN chapters and other groups within IEEE aren't aware of what we're doing, we're not going to have any proposals come in that we can fund. And this has been especially important this year because this year marks our 15th anniversary for EPICS and IEEE as a committee. So I'd like to introduce Pedro, who is one of our committee members, but who's also had an opportunity to speak about sort of being an advocate for the program by spreading the word about EPICS and IEEE, especially in Region 9. So Pedro, I'll let you do a quick introduction.
Thank you, Stephanie. Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. I am Pedro Whiteman. I am an associate professor at the School of Engineering, Science, and Technology.
Oh, Pedro, I think we lost your audio quickly. Do you want to try going on mute and then unmute to see if it resets? No, we heard you and then we lost you. I don't know if maybe the microphone got jostled. Yeah, we're still not hearing you. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, Pedro, I'm not sure how we're going to fix this right now. Your audio was working great. Unfortunately, even at a tech society, we sometimes have tech issues. Pedro, if you're comfortable with it, I'm going to jump to Mega next, and we'll come back to you. If you want to try to leave the webinar and come back in, that might reset your audio. So that will give us some time to do that. Apologies to everyone here. So as we wait for Pedro's audio to get fixed, we're going to jump over to Mega. Mega has been one of our faculty members, and faculty members are the #1 way that our teams mention that they hear about engaging in EPICS and IEEE, and they are motivated and encouraged to submit a proposal for funding. So Mega, if you could introduce yourself and talk about how you've engaged your own students through these service learning project opportunities.
Hello, everyone. Myself, Dr. Megha Arkiri. I'm working as professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering in Manipal Institute of Technology, Bangalore, India. And I have 20 years of research and academic experience. And I'm a senior member of IEEE and committee member of EPICS in IEEE. And as a faculty, I have engaged my students in several service learning projects related to agriculture, assistive devices, healthcare, or rural empowerment. They had certain knowledge about the technical skills through their engineering courses, but I wanted them to work on real-world problems and understand what engineers can contribute to society. So EPICS in IEEE gave that opportunity to work on service learning projects. So in this process, the students were engaged in collaborating with NGO to identify community problems and communicate with different stakeholders to understand the requirements and analyze what skills they require in order to develop that innovative solution. And also at the end, testing of that developed system as well as deployment in the community and measuring its success and how to maintain that product later on in the future. And in addition to these technical skills, they were also engaged in budget and time management of the projects. And finally, they were even engaged in technical writing to develop the manuals for the products they developed. So this is how the students were engaged in different aspects of the projects through the service learning projects provided by EPICS in IEEE.
It's really exciting that you found an opportunity to engage with EPICS and IEEE personally, to encourage your students to submit the proposals, and that your projects have been integrated in such a way that students are developing these skills outside of a traditional classroom setting. We know many individuals that participate in EPICS and IEEE projects say they not only develop those technical skills, but these professional skills as well, which helps them prepare for internships and employment in the workforce. I know you've talked a little bit about sort of the engagement that you had, but what tips would you have for another faculty member if they're considering encouraging their students to apply for EPICS and IEEE? How would they leverage the program and service learning principles to integrate it into their classroom or mentoring experiences?
Yeah, even in addition to students, faculties have a lot of opportunities. Like the main theme of EPICS is connecting engineering education to society through service learning project. So that itself opens up a lot of opportunities for the faculty. Faculty itself can involve in the project by writing the proposals and getting funds for developing that innovative solutions. So that itself may help them to carry out their groundwork for the research. And they can also involve their students of the institutes in the project and involve in interacting with the community partners as well as identifying the community problems. And EPICS can also give the opportunity to faculty to mentor their students in multidisciplinary projects. So in this whole process of service learning and involving the students, they also get the opportunity to collaborate with industries, community partners, and professionals from multidisciplinary fields. So overall, faculty along with the students can use this platform for professional growth as well as volunteering IEEE activities.
I want to touch on that last piece a little bit, the volunteering with IEEE activities. So as a faculty member, if you're encouraging students to submit for projects, or if you're mentoring projects, or you're a project reviewer, that is engagement for you as an individual. Did you see that your students, when they were engaged with an EPICS and IEEE project, that they felt more connected to IEEE overall, or what opportunities are there that EPICS and IEEE can better engage students in the IEEE organization as a whole?
Definitely, students were engaged in many of the activities in this process. Like they were working with the service learning projects, so that itself improved their technical as well as non-technical skills. And they had an opportunity to connect with the community partners and industry experts, as well as gain insight into the multidisciplinary projects. And also it gave them a way to involve in outreach activities as well as volunteering community programs. So altogether, this helped them to work towards advancing the technology for the benefit of humanity, which is the main focus of IEEE.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing those experiences. I will point out for anyone on the call that's a faculty member and thinking about introducing EPICS and IEEE to their students, we do have some resources to help you get started. We have a list of recommended steps for starting a service learning project, whether through EPICS and IEEE or just within your own classroom setting. This is available on the Teaching Excellence Hub and is linked on our EPICS and IEEE resource page as well. So if you've never run a service learning project, it can be a little intimidating to figure out how to support it and start it. So we have a guide for you. We also ran a webinar last year during IEEE Education Week talking about this guide and how faculty can get started in supporting student projects. So it is a faculty-oriented webinar. If you are in that audience and looking for support and resources, this is available on our resource page of the EPICS and IEEE website as well. Thank you, Mega, for sharing so much about the faculty experience with students engaging in EPICS and IEEE. At this point, we are going to try to jump back to Pedro. We're going to see if Pedro's audio is working. Pedro, do we have you?
Do you have me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes, your audio is working. Thank you. So
Thank you
again,
very
a quick reminder that Pedro is one of our committee members, but has done a lot of work to advertise and support the EPICS and IEEE program by sharing opportunities and really increasing the visibility of the program. And this is something that anyone on this call is able to do. We'll talk about some of those steps in detail. So Pedro, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thank you again. And I'm sorry, do not use a new camera on a first meeting like this. So I'm Pedro Whiteman. I am an associate professor at the School of Engineering, Science and Technology of Universidad del Rosario in Bogota, Colombia. I've been in academia for more than 14 years, academia and research. I work in data privacy, IoT, blockchain, and smart cities, innovation, and industry, and so on. I am senior member, and I've been a member of IEEE for 20 years too. Doesn't look like it, but yes. And I've been a member of the EPICS committee for 2 years, and I've been an EPICS project co-director a few years ago. So yeah, as Stephanie was mentioning, I've been trying to spread the word. I've seen the numbers of projects from several areas in the world, and you can see that not many people know about the EPICS initiative. So we are looking for having more people really taking care of identifying the needs of the community and try to formulate this project from pretty much everywhere where this could be needed. And it is definitely needed everywhere.
So that's really exciting that you've been doing your part to share the opportunities. So I know you've talked to multiple different audiences about EPICS and IEEE. So can you maybe give some information about what's most important to you and how are you choosing these different audiences that you're sharing your message with?
Yes. Well, we're targeting different communities. Like, for example, a few weeks ago, I was invited to talk to the SAC team in Region 9. So we're talking about the people that are engaging directly to student branches chairs, student chapters, and so on. So they can spread the word to those young volunteers that may be interested in leading these types of initiatives for their own group. Of course, all of them are at the university, and in order to do these types of projects, you always need also resources. So it's always an eye-opening experience for most of them to know that IEEE has these types of projects or initiatives in which you can actually have resources to do these types of projects. And if they are in these kinds of groups, you know that they have that, that germ, that idea of, I need to help. I want to help. I'm volunteering here. What can I do with it? So having the resources really allows them to go farther. So talking to students, it's definitely one way, but also talking to researchers in academia, or also looking for resources. Usually universities do not have enough resources to support these types of projects. And also the community that we could work with, they also do not have these resources. So talking to faculty who may be interested in applying the knowledge and guiding their group of students in order to do these types of projects is also great. So I found some technical conferences, IHTC, that was last year, that I talked to. There were students and faculty who were amazed that this type of opportunities were there, and they were really thinking on, okay, how do I apply? How can I apply? Please let me know. So these workshops really support giving them that message that it is possible. It is not super complicated to write a project, and those funds can really go and make a change.
Excellent. Now, if someone was interested in sharing this opportunity with their students or their section, where should someone go to look for this information? Obviously, you've been giving presentations, but often you're sharing resources in the hopes other people will also share those resources. Where should people go to look?
Well, as usual, the main source is the website, epics.IEEE.org. That's the main source of information for this, about the initiatives, about the calls, about the resources. Other than that, you can check on social networks. So pretty much everywhere, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all that. We usually post examples of projects, of course, all the calls several times, both in the social network of EPICS, but also in the social network of our partners. As you saw in one of the previous slides, IAS also shared some of the resources. So as partners, you are very important to this, to spread the word. Also, you can have the newsletter, the Humanitarian Technology newsletter. You can also subscribe to that. EPICS has its own newsletter too. But the important thing is that the information is there, but if you do not spread it yourself, it doesn't get to where it needs to go. So if you find it in your LinkedIn, if you're interested in it, also share it, repost it so all the people can see it, or bring that information, send it to your colleagues. You can, of course, forward those emails. So let people know. Do not just keep the information for yourself. In addition to that, and I think it will be in the next one, if you are very interested about the program and you want to really get it into your chapter, your section, your region, you can invite us. You can let us know. Can you give us a presentation? The answer most likely will be yes. Yes, we can. We can arrange a schedule, arrange who can go and do it, but most of the people from the committee and some of the partners experience like the people we have here. We can go and do even a short presentation. It could be remote, it could be in person, depending on what it is, or we can even do a longer workshop. And we could do even a practical exercise of writing or thinking about a proposal. And that's it. this is more of a direct source for the information, and we really do our best to try to motivate students and faculty and professionals that would be very interested into leading this kind of initiative with students.
Excellent. So again, if anyone on this call is affiliated with an IEEE organization that would like a presentation, we do our best to try to arrange for an in-person or a virtual presentation, depending on if we have a committee member nearby or if it would be maybe a little cost prohibitive to get there in person. Virtual is always an option with today's technology. So please do reach out if you are interested. The more notice we have, the more likely we are to be able to accommodate. And here's a few different pictures from some of the different presentations that EPICS and IEEE has given over the last year. So again, it can be a workshop format, it can be a presentation format. I would say the shortest that we've done is a little 5-minute blurb inside of a much bigger presentation. Other times we're running a full 3 to 4 hour workshop, again, with that brainstorming and ideation stage so that individuals can get connected and inspired during a part of the workshop. So these opportunities are available. You can feel free to reach out and our committee will respond and try to find a way to connect with your section or branch. I think with that, we've covered quite a bit of information on the 5 different main areas that our professionals can engage with. I will point out that we have a new training course. So if you just want to learn more about the program, this call was not specifically to address what is EPICS and IEEE and how do you submit a proposal. But if you want more information after listening to the experiences of professionals so that you feel more comfortable talking about EPICS and IEEE, please don't hesitate to reach out. Our website is epics.ieee.org. And if you go to our resource tab, we have a new project training course. We are going to be encouraging everyone that submits a project to go through this training course first, so that you have a better understanding of the EPICS and IEEE program, our funding requirements, what we expect of project proposals, and hopefully we'll see stronger proposals come through and we will continue to have very tough decisions, as Michelle mentioned, about which projects do we fund. So please do take a look at this training course. It's a new resource and we're very excited to have it available to the entire EPICS and IEEE community. With that, I'll mention just a few quick upcoming opportunities, and then we'll jump into our Q&A. We are opening our fall call for proposals soon. I believe right now the website is still closed, but starting September 1st, our website will be open. You, of course, can watch our webinars or our training course materials to understand what you should do to prepare a proposal now. It does take a little bit of time. So if you've never prepared an EPICS and IEEE proposal and you're inspired to collaborate with a student branch or an HCAN chapter near you, you do have that opportunity. Our fall call is going to be themed around artificial intelligence and autonomous systems. So we are doing a themed call, which means priority funding will be given not only to those that match our technical theme, but also to those that align with our partner organizations that are funding this call. More information for that is available on our website, and our full URL to take you directly to that page of our website is on the slide. That deadline will be October 15th, and we will be having another webinar opportunity talking about AI and relevant technology to hopefully inspire projects in this area in September. So if you aren't yet connected with us, please make sure you connect with us so that you can stay tuned for that next webinar as well. I wanted to summarize some of these opportunities where we're always looking for new individuals to join us. We had Michelle talk about being a reviewer. And so if you are interested in being a reviewer, once our presentation is recorded, it will be sent out and you can go through and click our hyperlink. And we are looking for reviewers to commit their interest by September 11th. And our reviewers will go through our training program. They will review 3 to 5 proposals, and then they'll submit an evaluation. Altogether, this does take probably 5 hours of time over the training, the review process, and the review submission period. So if you have that time available, we would love to have you join us as a reviewer. And this is a great way to get a behind the scenes look at the program in case you are interested in submitting proposals in the future. If you're interested in being a mentor, we did just fund a large number of projects from our May call for proposals. So if you are a member of IAS, we would love to have you connect and engage with us. If you're a member of one of our other partner societies, please reach out. And if you're just interested in being a mentor in general, again, we're always trying to find that right technical and geographic match for our teams. The mentor process requires you to just submit a very short survey about what topics you feel comfortable mentoring, what type of mentor role do you want in person, or are you comfortable with remote? And we have some facts and questions available on our website regarding the mentor experience as well. I think with that, I will end my part of the speaking with our additional resources. So if you aren't yet following us on social media, or if you're not getting our once a month emails, please feel free to join us. This is, again, the best way for you to be aware of what's happening with EPICS and IEEE so that you can share the message out to others who maybe aren't connected with us. If you are on a project team or if you're inspired by a project, we have lots of stories. We'd love for you to reshare those opportunities on your own accounts to spread the word. And our website has lots of information regarding past projects, blog posts from project teams, and all of those resources to help create a strong proposal. Of course, we wouldn't be able to fund projects without donations. So if you are inspired to connect and engage with us and support future projects, that link is available as well. I think with that, though, we do have a few minutes for broad questions and answers. I know there's been some questions in the chat, for example, how to invite someone to join us for a session. And the best way to do that is to reach out, email epicsinIEEE@ieee.org. We also have individuals that are expressing interest as a reviewer, so thank you. I know Ashley is getting those hyperlinks to share in the chat now so that you can directly link to it. And I think, Ashley, you might have to take the hyperlink and then directly go to it. So if you want to stop your sharing at this point, I think we'll go to maybe just our presenter view. And with that, let me look and see if we have any questions in the chat yet. We don't have them yet. We did have a test question come through, so I know that it is working. So at this point, if you have questions for a specific panelist or for anyone in general, I'd encourage you to submit those either through the chat or through the Q&A. I do see a question if there's a minimum number of students for a project. We require the student teams, so we define that as at least 2 students. I will say that the committee does look for a strong student engagement on a project, so it cannot be something that looks like a research project, nor can it be something that looks like it's led by professionals with students just working on the side. So we do want a student-driven team experience. Let's see if we get any other questions coming in. And again, I'll just highlight that the multiple different ways that we discussed today to be connected and engaged with us are as a reviewer, as a mentor, by connecting us and becoming a partner society, by promoting and advertising the EPICS and IEEE program, and if you're a faculty member, by connecting and engaging your students to the program. So those were the 5 things we talked about today. There's lots of other ways to connect and engage as well. And I see that someone was talking about the term service learning. So many of our materials, including our training course, talk about a definition for service learning. Generally, it is a partnership between the student learning experience and the community engagement so that the students can enhance their technical skills by working on a real world problem in collaboration with a partner. So we're not asking students to design for a community, but with a community. And our training materials and our training courses really talk about that community partnership piece, We also do have a micro training that talks about the community as well. So if you're interested in how do you connect and engage with the community, what's needed from a community partner letter, if you're thinking about submitting a project, I'd encourage you to look at our resource page for that information. Because that is one of the weakest areas we see in proposals, is a lack of community engagement. I see that Ashley has shared our mailing list, so you can sign up there. And then we will make sure that we save the chat, so anyone that's sharing contact information or requesting out, we'll do our best to reach out to you. But again, if you can send that follow-up email to epicsinIEEE@IEEE.org, that will make sure we don't miss anything. And I'm not seeing any other Q&A come through. So with that, if you need to jump off, feel free. If you have any last minute burning questions, please use the chat or the Q&A to address them. But otherwise, I'll take this time to thank all of our panelists for joining us today. They represent a wide variety of backgrounds, and we couldn't do it without all of the professionals supporting EPICS and IEEE. And we thank everyone for their time joining us this morning, afternoon, or evening. We hope you found this webinar informative. And of course, if you thought it was helpful, once the link is published, feel free to share this with other professionals in your network so that we can share the value of EPICS and IEEE with the broader community. Thank you everyone for your time. We appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of your day. Ashley, any last thoughts?
I just shared a link to a PDF of the slides. I was supposed to have sent out in your invitation. Please take a look. If you've already applied for a reviewer, make sure you just fill out our most recent form so that we make sure we include you in the October review process. Other than that, I put the EPICS email in there earlier. Feel free to reach out if you have additional questions.
Okay, with that, panelists, I think we have reached the most part the end. We don't have any additional questions coming through. So thank you for sharing your time and expertise with everyone. I really do appreciate each and every one of you joining us this morning or this evening, depending on where you are. So thank you, and I'll let you run off to those next meetings that I know many of you have. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all so much. Really appreciate your time and energy. Thanks so much. Have a great day, everyone.